Here we go. We are live from the Temple of Freedom in Kingman, Arizona, the Social Contact Club, 3001 Stockton Hill Road, where freedom is our belief. I'm here today, very excited. Excited because I believe till there is life, there is hope. Yes, we're not dead yet. And guess what? We're hard to kill, let me tell you, especially in Mojave County. I truly believe that. This is probably one of the best places I want to be. I told you in the past, I had the opportunity before I came to America when I was my 30. Exactly, I was 30 when I came here. The first, at least, my first from the 20s, 19, all the way to America. I travel around the world. I don't know. I was one of these crazy guys looking for the island of freedom, looking for the ideal place. I went to the South Pacific. I went in the middle of nowhere. I was, sleeping under the coconut trees. I mean, been around Europe, I don't know, Sweden, Canada, Spain, Germany, call it, name it. I had a great opportunity. And then finally I said, I signed enough. I saw enough. America is the place where I want to go. And then America, of course, now you see that it's not exactly all created equal. I landed in California. It wasn't really America anymore. After a couple of years, I said, smells and tastes like Italy. I better get out of here. So anyway, and finally, as I said, coincidence lives made me realize there was a state that, by the way, I was very aware when I was a child, watching some of these spaghetti Western movies, was called Arizona. And I say, okay. And I'm not saying that this is the place for everyone, but for the way I think, the way I believe, what I believe, this is the place. Now, unfortunately, things changed the last few months, few years, but for sure, let's say the last 3 months, we are in a new level of reality. And the more I call Mojave County home. More and more I call Arizona my America. And of course, my goal is my dream to see in the near future that we can rejoice and rejoin all the states the same freedom that we still have here. Don't get me wrong, Mojave County, Arizona is not paradise. We have our little corruption, we have our little things, we are human beings like everywhere. But if I had to look at the big picture, this is like heaven, guys. Okay, we still have the right to speak up, still the right to fight back. Of course, we're talking about civilly, peacefully, talking about exercising our basic rights, all the Bill of Rights. And sometimes things don't happen right. Guess what? We fight back. We sue. We do recalls. We do everything we have to do. Today, I have on our by the way, this is the name of the new show. It's called the Social Contact Club Radio Show. In the past, you heard me for 6 years on 1340 AM and 104.1 FM as the Love Guns and Freedom Show. We had to change a little bit. I think this is the new format now. It's here. We are 1 hour. We broadcast from YouTube, of course, live, and also live also after the week after from K Talks 1340 AM and 104.1 FM. So the format is directly from the religions here or temple. This is the temple. This is not just a gym. This is not just a club. We believe a temple of freedom. So the point is, I don't have any more people calling in like I used to have in the past. So I invite all our members to come here Friday night, 6 o'clock, and be part of the show. I have a microphone for you guys. This is not just my microphone. Of course, I have guests. Every Friday, I want to bring a guest. Some people are going to be people that you already know. Maybe people like tonight guest is going to be incredible guy. He used to be a very young guy. He's still young, don't get me wrong, but it's one of the youngest probably people that we have down in Phoenix representing freedom in our district. So I'm very excited to really have him here. But also we're going to have people that normally they're just mom and pop, but they're doing their part in their community to stand up for freedom. I don't care if you just an activist that like to speak up at your city council meeting, or maybe, I don't know, you're just involved in other issues like could be the water issue, or you just want to say what you think about it. I want you here. If you believe in the United States Constitution, Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, it's pretty much our belief at the religious, our club. This is our belief, and it's not a political belief. For me, it's a religious belief. That's the way I look at this. So you're one of us. Come here. You have the microphone. You can ask questions. Also, you can make statement. I remind everyone that, of course, when you're here in the show, we still have to observe an FCC language because we are going to be broadcast on the radio. So please just avoid words that normally you wouldn't use in front of children. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Now, tonight's guest. I'm very excited. I met this man for the first time when he was his first run for office representing the district here in Mojave County directly in Phoenix as a state representative. And I like to see new blood. I like to see especially young people because normally, unfortunately, in Mojave County, especially in Arizona in general, people who run for office already retired because it's the job really doesn't pay much. So it's really hard to
Yeah.
leave your business, leave your commitment, your family, and go down there for something that honestly, I'm not putting anything down, but it's not really for the money. I mean, your paycheck is not that good comparing what you can make in the private sector, especially when you have a family responsibility and bills to pay. So now let me cut it short. Let me introduce the greatest, because I really think he's a great guy. He's not perfect, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect either, but
Right.
he's a great guy. He's straightforward. He's not afraid. He's bold. I like that. Leo Biasucci. Thank you, Leo.
Ciao, Luca. How are you?
Thank you very much.
Good. Really quickly, we kind of share the same story. When you came from Italy, my family came from Italy in the '70s, and they escaped what they saw Italy was becoming. Right. My grandfather, he saw that happening when he was there, that they were going down a road that he knew he didn't like. He didn't agree with. I mean, he was a World War II vet,
Wow.
and he came to America, and we've been here ever since. And just for the reasons you said, right, the freedoms that exist are like nowhere else in the world.
It's true. It's true. I was telling you before the show started. A few nights ago, I was so depressed. I said, "Oh my God, I want to find a place I can hide in some island. I need to get something out of here, even for a month, okay? Maybe for a couple of months. Then I come back. I can't even get out anywhere. I can bring my guns. So that's the first problem I have.
That's true.
So that's it. Moave County or that. That's it. Not that for us, for the enemy. But my point, I love Moave County. By the way, let me turn around. This is going to be, I don't want to show my, crazy face here. Let me get a little bit more of Leo. That is the guest. This is going to be just for our, of course, YouTube. On the radio, you can watch videos, of course, but you can at least get an idea of Mr. Leo Biasucci. You there, Leo?
This is blocking me?
It's okay. Let me move the chair a little bit. We're going to do a little bit. There we go. There we go. Actually, a little better now. Stay here. Okay, this is live, by the way. We're not preparing anything, even we got some idea of what's going on. There we go, Mr. Leo Biasucci, so you can see his face, okay? Now, talking about today. Today, I would like to bring, first of all, information. Information, because it's very important. You work very hard down in Phoenix, and sometimes I don't think the average person out there even understand what's going on in Phoenix. They think, okay, whatever. Now, this is more than just a political year. This is more than just, okay, I'm Democrat, I'm a Republican, like 50 years ago. We have differences of opinion on some issue. This is about now, in my humble opinion, we are divided between who stands for the Republic, who is somehow supporting treason.
Right.
I'm sorry, might sound radical, but I have no more halfways. Maybe 10 years ago, whatever. After these elections, especially after the fraud of these elections, I truly believe that we've been hijacked and we're under military coup. That's the way I think. So now, unfortunately, I love everyone. I don't hate anyone, be clear. But if you're here as a person, as a useful idiot, that's what you are, that you're still supporting this travesty of justice. Before even we go into political differences, let's say you're a freaking socialist, okay, that would be bad enough. But at least be a socialist with the right to vote for in the right way. That we still have an election that counts something. After these elections, we've been taken over, and I think people should face military trial. The Biden family should be all lined up in Guantanamo waiting for trial. They shouldn't be here sitting in the White House. So this is my opinion, by the way. I want to say something. Representative Leo Biasucci even is my guest. Doesn't mean that is associated with my thoughts, because I know sometimes some, especially leftist or at least differences of opinion journalists, they may try to look you like you are some sort of conspiracy theory. This is my theory. And by the way, it's not a theory, it's a fact. Biden is a traitor. Simple as that. And I refuse to call him a freaking president.
That's right.
Okay. And by the way, we have a beautiful flag. I cannot say the lingo because the grammar, unfortunately, on FCC would not be so happy. But if you come on 3001 Stockton Hill Road, and by the way, I got new cameras standing on the roof, so in case you try to steal it, you will be electrified. The camera is directly connected to a 10,000 watts electrified magnet, followed by a couple shots of back shots, okay? Just in case the electricity doesn't work. Anyway, the flag is beautiful. It's majestic. I will almost write a poem. You know I'm a poem leader.
Yeah.
So anyway, it starts with an F. F. Biden. We love you. F. Biden. And then, of course, and everybody will still think that you are the president, voted for you. F to you two guys, okay? Seriously. And as I said, this is beyond politics. Next time you understand, you wake up. By the way, Leo, what do you think about, now forget about, I'm not even a Republican, you know that.
Yeah.
I'm independent. Be clear, I'm not here trying to pander anyone. I like to support individuals that do the right thing, except for the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Now, forget for a moment that Biden even was elected, justly. Okay, let's say let's talk about how America changed in the last 90 days. Give us a little bit of logic, factual things that we see already coming from wars, gasoline. unemployment? Just give us some numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all saw this. Before the election happened, we knew what was coming with Biden administration, right? The
Mhm.
people that pay attention, we knew. We knew that with the pipeline, we knew that he's always involved in the Middle East. The whole Obama administration before that. I mean, they all the things that I know a majority of us Americans don't want and don't like. We knew if he got into power, that was going to happen. And like you said, 90 days later, here we have gas is over $3 a gallon. We're already bombing the Middle East. People are losing their jobs. The borders are open. I mean, a complete sellout of this country. That we voted for Trump because we wanted to put an end to that. Right? For 8 years, we were experiencing that, and we didn't want it anymore. This is why Trump won. People were sick and tired of selling out our country and putting us last. Trump said we're going to make us first, which is, I think, what resonated so much with the people. And here we are, 90 days later, with a guy in power who shouldn't be in power, in my opinion, and we're right back to where we were beforehand.
And you know what he said? I'm not a psychiatrist. I have no medical degree, but I start to believe that these are really mentally impaired. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be funny. They're sick.
You're right. Something's not right.
Something. If it would be like in, I don't know, in some sort of diagnosis or whatever. First of all, they're suicidal. That's bad enough. But the problem is that they are suicidal. They want to bring you with you because what they are doing here. Now, seriously, if I was a working man, and I'm a working man, we all working men, we work here, okay? But the point, if I was a Democrat working man, then normally, they go in factory, they think that the Democrats, they're taking care of the little people. Look what they've done to you guys.
Right.
Look what they've done to you. Maybe they give you a little bit of crumbles, this what, $1,400. That, by the way, we are in
It's your money.
$20,000. How much we got? We had to pay for that $1,400.
I know, right?
About 20 grand at least.
Yeah,
Oh.
at least.
That would be probably a joke of the joke. But beside that, look at this now. How are you gonna cope in the next, maybe already now, but 1 year from now, when gasoline is going to be $5 a gallon, not just in California, even around the country, and you need to think about it. I need to go to eat. I need to pay my rent, and by the way, the food is going to be more expensive.
Absolutely.
Just that. What is the justification? This oil is still not disappearing. The only thing now, instead of having it from Texas or Canada, we need to pay 3 times, 4 times to the Saudi.
Yep.
So, guys, seriously, I don't even want to, conversate with you because I gave up. No, seriously, I give up.
No, I mean, in Luca, I think that the part that makes me so nervous about this is the people that voted for Biden, right? I still don't believe he won the election. To be clear, we all know something was wrong there. But the people that did, it's just funny to me to see now them come out and say, well, I didn't think this was going to happen. I didn't think he was going to do this. And that's scary because then that's showing that people are not paying attention, right? They're not aware of the political climate of what's going on. They just voted. They chose character, right? They were more worried about the tweets of Trump than policy. They chose character over policy, the people that voted for Biden, because Trump's policies were incredible for this country. I mean, we're going in the right direction, America first, and for them to say, oh, I don't like his tweets, so I'm going to vote for Biden.
It is very sad.
It's very sad.
I wish we had like in commerce. If I go to Home Depot, any big company, I got 90 days money back guarantee. I think we should do the same with our politicians. I want my money back out of office.
Oh, that's funny.
Change vote. Anyway, we're trying to laugh, but I'm that serious. I am freaking out, and I cannot understand and believe that beside us, that we're here, regular people, the system that's supposed to be checking on each other. I'm talking about from the soldiers. I don't care if you're a regular grunt or if you're a general. Your first duty is to protect this republic.
Right.
The evidence that we have, just what we can see, not even the one that we cannot see, would be enough to say we've been invaded right now. We have an act of treason. We got to take care of business.
Absolutely.
Now, I understand one thing. This was planned a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Mr. Obama, I even call him President him either, okay? Still, for me, he's born in Kenya, by the way, and I'm proud of that, saying that. The point, and it's me speaking, because I always say, oh, you see that? It's me.
That's it.
All right, he's born in Kenya, and he's a Muslim, he's a communist. End of story. No apology. Anyway, my point is, even there, you remember the last 2 years of Mr. Obama, he was purging all the top brass general that we have.
Yep.
So what is left now makes sense. They had this long preparation, because I truly believe if I were, or any other people that would be right now, the last 3 months, in the position of responsibility, like a top brass general or colonel or whatever, I would say I refuse to submit to this conclusion when we have all this evidence. We're supposed to at least get now straight to these machines, straight to recounting the votes. Otherwise, we're going to arrest some people, and then we go to court, martial law, and then we'll see what happens. So all I can say is this. But meanwhile, what do we do now? What you doing in Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, it's November 30th. I was part of the hearing in Phoenix, right? Myself, Senator Borelli, a few other people, and we sat there for 12 hours that day. I mean, just nonstop testimony, sworn affidavits from people, everyday people, and then even up into Colonel Waldron, who here's a retired colonel, right? No reason for him to lie, no reason for him to come there and put his reputation on the line and anything. And when he sits there and says, and I asked him directly, I said, Colonel Waldron, this is under oath, penalty of perjury. Are you telling me that these machines were being hacked into and they were connected to the internet? He said, absolutely. Wow. We were watching him in real time as all these countries were tapping into our system, and they were hacking into the voting machines. And so this is a colonel saying this, and you have all this evidence, and still there's doubt, and still there's pushback. That's the part that just I don't understand, how all the people wanted was look into the election. Just take a look. You find nothing, lick our wounds, we move on, right? We move on as a country, and we move forward. Yeah. But this resistance that's been happening over and over for these last 3-4 months, what other answer do you have other than they're trying to hide something?
And other sad thing is not, the corruption is not just in Washington. Look what happened in Maricopa County. People that are supposed to be, I don't want to call our people, because everyone who stands for truth is supposed to be our people, not even Republican or Democrat. If I were a Democrat, I would scream and yell and say, stop, this is a travesty. I'm not part of this robbery. I'm not a thief, okay? And I have some ex-Democrat, they really, a few years ago, through my show, and even just talking, they figure it out. And they say, guys, we may not agree on economics, but we don't want to support criminals and thieves. And that's what we, and I respect that. If you're a Democrat that at least think that, you know what, we have a conversation going.
Well, and when Trump won 4 years ago, they were screaming, right? Pelosi was screaming that this election was rigged and something's not right. Oh, but now it's not a problem anymore now that it's your candidate. So I will say this though. I mean, the Senate's moving forward now. I mean, hopefully they have a team that's ready to rock. The problem was, and I hope what people understand, because you had a lot of time here, I think, was wasted trying to find the right team. But when this became so publicity, or in the public eye, and people were talking about who to pick and who not to pick, now you have a problem, right? Because now if you're picking a guy that everybody's saying this is the guy, what do? So now they're saying, oh, he's compromised and he's compromised. So the worst thing could have happened was that this, became a nationwide issue and people were talking about it. So, but I think they got their team, and I think this is going to happen the next week or two, and finally get to the bottom of this.
Well, all I can say, we have not to stop exposing it, fighting it, resisting it, because it's that thing now. The average person, even people that may say, "Okay, it's too late." No, nothing too late. No, there is, by the way, for criminals, for crimes. If I commit a robbery, if I kill someone, if I make treason, if I commit treason, I don't think there is like a date of expiration date, like on the milk, right? I say, 6 weeks, 6 months? No, that's it. Now, if we find out that we have enough evidence that treason was committed, I want to say something. Every man and woman who took an oath to defend this republic, starting from elected people, from the law enforcement, policemen, firemen, I don't care if you're a city council member or whatever, congressman, and of course, our soldiers, they need to decide. This is now, it's in your hand. There is nobody to save us, but look at yourself in the mirror. And of course, you don't need to be somebody who took an oath. You can be a regular citizen. I want to be part of this. This is my country and the future of my children. I'm going to stand for it, because that's why I'm really concerned. I'm freaking out so much. Things are bad now, but can you imagine, like in some sort of a time machine, this plan in 30 days, what is done? If we give them now the opportunity to perpetrate this travesty of a fraud election, and next time it's going to be 20 million of illegals ready to vote. In 4 years, we're going to look like a Mad Max movie here.
No,
Venezuela is going to look like Switzerland compared. Okay, no, seriously.
No, you're right, and this is why it's so important that we do this audit, because my biggest fear, I think, along with yours, is you have people now that Republicans, even independents, who a lot of independents in the state vote red, right? They lean right. They may not like things about the party, so they stay independent. But they're saying, why am I voting now? Like, what's the point? If you guys are just gonna cheat and steal and let them get away with this without even looking into it, then why am I voting? And that's my biggest fear, because then that means we'll never win an election again.
done.
ever. It'll be a game over. The left will only vote, and that's my biggest fear. And this is why I'm saying we're not done fighting, regardless what the outcome is of this audit. We need to do the audit just to
Yes.
bring closure to the people.
You're
And
right.
if we find something in there, I mean, people need to be held responsible, like you said. They need to go to jail. People
Yeah.
need to be put in prison
Yeah.
if there's corruption involved.
And by the way, you know, I've never served this country in the military. I was in Italy, but last time I checked, when you've been found guilty of treason, at least in the past, it wasn't jail. It's called
Yeah.
an execution. By the way, we have veterans here, and as we go through in the next 10 minutes, please, I invite you here. Just come closer, and I will be happy to give you the microphone. If you have questions or just statements to do, this is your show. Now, before I go ahead and we continue, Leo, I want to say something. I need to find always a way to resist also mentally, because sometimes things is so overwhelming. You get up in the morning, you say, oh my God, this is real. It wasn't a nightmare. Then you go to the gas station. Oh my God, it's really real. Then you go
Right.
to the grocery food. Oh my God, it's real. Then you go now to the CPA calling you. By the way, your tax, cat, whatever is gone. Oh, I gotta have a break.
Yeah.
So now what I do when I do in my personal philosophy, this is my personal philosophy, the best thing, in my opinion, according also to my grandfather, to somehow fight back against your enemy is to enjoy life.
That's
The
right.
Romans used to say, carpe diem.
That's
Enjoy
right.
the moment. For a moment, forget about Biden. Let's forget about, Pelosi or Mulosi, whatever they are, all these monkeys down in Washington, okay? I said, we are here at the Social Contact Club, the Temple of Freedom, and guess what? I bought this beautiful.
Yes.
I wanted to change back. You left me when you came here last 2 weeks to our meeting that you were the speaker, a beautiful bottle of sparkling wine. And I said, wow, that's very nice. Thank you, Leo.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That's what I like. And I said, I wanted to pay it back. So today I bought this beautiful Italia Prosecco DOC. By the way, DOC means it's a special labeling. That means it's a specific region of Italy that they don't use some just, Chinese stuff mixed up with Mexican other stuff. It's real Italian grapes from the specific part of Italy, in this case from Tuscany. And by the way, where are you from, your family from? Where you
So dad's from Naples, mom's from Sicily.
Okay, interesting mix. Okay, so
I
this
know,
is
I
from
know.
Tuscany. So anyway, and this is organic on top. I like organic
That's
because
right.
I really truly believe that wine must be drunk in a way that is all without poison. Otherwise, you get sick. So right now, let me open it up.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a little brindisi, and we're gonna celebrate. And I can give my little cheers, and you can cheer with whoever you want. One second.
Perfect.
Okay. Here. Now, hopefully, I don't splash it everywhere. That's normally what I do.
I know.
Okay, we have some
You ready?
people in the audience. If somebody want to join us, because I can drink more in a glass, and Leo
Yeah, that's
can
right.
drive.
And I got to drive, so.
Bridget can get a glass, please, a cup. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
First for Leo. Nice.
He's got a cup.
Okay, I give you enough, Leo. One second.
Oh.
I give you nothing, Leo.
I know. Madonna.
That was just the smoke. Because I can see
Grazie.
the light is low. All right, now this is for me, of course. I'm the host. I need to have it first.
Naturally.
Now,
Yeah, I'm going to try something here,
the
too.
leftover, different from the Democrats or the government in general, we believe in sharing as act of free will. So there is
There
no
we
forced
go.
redistribution. I would like to invite you to, if you want a little sip of beautiful sparkling wine from Italy, just bring your cup. Otherwise, don't worry, I'm not going to be offended because we're going to have.
We'll
more
have the
for
whole
you.
bottle. Don't worry about it. If
Okay.
you guys don't want it.
All right. So meanwhile, now we got to have a little fun. As I said before, we got this little flag that I really love. I'm going to write a song tonight on this flag. This beautiful, majestic flag on Stockton Hill. Try to do that, Leo, on Sunset Strip in Hollywood.
Not going to happen. Not going to
I
happen.
need to double my life insurance, probably.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny because you have a lot of people leaving LA. I mean, you have a lot of celebrities, a lot of radio people that are moving to Texas because they're getting away from that disaster. I mean, it's homeless are everywhere, and it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. So I tell people, come to Arizona. Don't change our laws,
Yeah, please.
but you can
when
come. You can come to Arizona.
Allora, let's do
No, salute.
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 Also, let's do before we do a cheer, like a dedication.
Ah.
Okay. You do your dedication, I do my dedication.
No, go ahead. You go
Okay.
first.
My dedication is to all the men and women who are here in this country in this historical moment. By the way, this is an honor what we're doing here.
Yeah.
It's also a great responsibility. 20 years from now, is someone be able to find this recording, because probably it's going to be deleted 20 times from Google or YouTube, but we can upload in some server secret somewhere, and hopefully we will win, and we will win. But the point is, This is a great moment of responsibility. We need every one of us. So my cheer, my wishes are to all of you, men and women in between. I don't care if you're transsexual, bisexual, sexual. If you stand for the Republic, I respect you. That's all I want. Stand for freedom, I respect you. We may not agree on everything. Maybe we don't like each other. Maybe one at a time, whatever. But if you stand in this historical moment, you're my brothers and sisters. That's all I ask you. And I want to dedicate this drink to you, my brothers and sisters in freedom. There we go.
Cheers. Freedom. Salud.
How you do yours?
Oh, that's good.
You do yours now.
That's good.
There's more.
Mine's going to be just quick. And I can't begin to stop telling people, I've been saying it for the last 3 months, is don't give up. There's a lot of things happening. And I'm going to turn to the crowd because you guys are all here. But there's a lot of things happening that we don't like, we don't agree with. It's sad to see. It's discouraging. But I'm just saying, there's good people coming up. There's good people that are fighting for you guys. People that are speaking up, like Luca, people in office that believe in this country, believe in our freedoms, and we're gonna fight, and we're not gonna stop fighting.
I have the microphone for any one of you. Please, you got plenty time. Let's not make it more than 2 minutes, please, so we can get also the answer from Leo. But
man, this is good, Luca. Bravo.
Thank you, man. Thank
2
you.
minutes.
Go ahead.
Well, my name is David Johnson, and I was in construction. I'm an engineer, and also I was a superintendent. And we did shutdown work, which meant like the plant, like pulp mill or whatever. They shut the whole plant down. We put it together. I was in piping, so we tear it apart, put it back together. And we had a deadline, and if we didn't make the deadline, then we'd get fined. Sometimes $100,000 a day.
Right.
Wow.
Well, I was supervising up to 125 people. If they didn't qualify,
No, talk. I'll let you.
if they didn't qualify, then they got laid off or they got fired. And if I didn't make the shutdown, I got fired.
Right.
My point is that it says right here in the Constitution, you probably know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. And the point I'm trying to make is that why can't we make changes? I had to make a change. I had to travel all over this country, and they taxed me unbelievable,
Right.
3 times on everything I did. So if I got overtime, you name it, they tax me. They can get away with that, and we can't say anything and get rid of them. What's the answer? And I just started. So I'm really concerned and upset that we, the people, can't get rid of these deadbeats, and they're deadbeats.
Right.
Thank you, Dave.
No,
Go
and,
ahead, Leo.
no, I'm just saying, Dave, I mean, he makes a good point. It's difficult to, at this point, to get rid of people, whether it's a recall or if somebody, look what's happening in California with Newsom. Hopefully he'll be recalled. They got over 2 million signatures at this point for somebody who just destroyed that economy. He just drove that into the ground. And so I'm a firm believer of the same thing. If somebody's not doing their job, right, it should be easier to remove them from office. But I also tell people, I know the process itself, being involved, I know it's a difficult thing to do. And so I tell people, look, go down that path if you feel they've done something that you think is not acceptable. Or you always remember, the elections always come up. We have to be vocal. Right? People need to speak up because it doesn't matter what the topic is. Something they've done that a lot of people don't understand, or the paper is not going to report on half this stuff. No matter the news agencies, right? Look at I think it was with the Biden falling today. I don't know if you guys saw him falling on the going up to Air Force One. They had a comparison of when Trump was walking down the ramp when he was making a speech, and the paper was all over him, right? Oh, he has a health problem, he can't walk. Mm-hmm. And then Biden, they're like, oh, Biden slips barely, but he's 100% healthy, he's good to go. Just the bias. And that's going to happen in every situation. Even there's people that you don't like, you want out. So all I can say is, if you can't get the recall, everybody comes up for re-election. Everybody. And I'm a believer in term limits. I really am. I've signed that pledge, and up to Congress, whether something happens, hopefully it does, but I believe that you got to get people out. Move them all. People need you get stagnant. We have people, I saw it in the House when I got in 2 years ago. If people there are there for 20 years.
Well, the good thing, correct me if I'm wrong, Leo. Last time I checked, in the House and the Senate, we have term limits in Arizona.
Yes and no. So
Yes and no. Tell me how
it's
it
a
works.
tricky. It is. So in the House, you can serve 8 consecutive years.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
And then you can go to the Senate for 8 years, but then you can come back to the House.
Oh, wow.
And then go back to the Senate.
I forgot.
So it's not like it's not like you're termed out after
Yeah.
one cycle. You can never come back. You have that happening all the time. You have people they go there, or you can do 6 years, go to the Senate, and then come back. So it's term limits. But I like the term limits of you're done after this amount of time. You're done running for office. Period. You need new blood. You need new ideas, fresh ideas.
And especially now that we understand a few things. And I think one thing really Trump was great into this one, to expose the system how it's crooked, it's corrupted. I mean, the check and balance, they're gone. The watchers, they're just the criminals.
Right.
I mean, look, you're talking about the Attorney General. Guess what? He was part of it. Sorry, both of them. They didn't do their job.
He was part of the Bush administration.
Yeah, the FBI. Look, they're supposed to be half of them, at least the top level, supposed to be all in jail. And instead, they're laughing at us.
Yeah.
So the point is now, the only thing we could have, and unfortunately we don't, especially at federal level, these people, they're so entrenched.
Absolutely.
And by the way, they also start to put a little wall around. They don't believe in walls for the southern border, but they got. I look at this as a positive thing. You know what is really good. If you look at the glass half full, wow, we got him in. No, seriously, I'm gonna say let's buy a couple of padlocks, lock them up, turn the internet off, turn the phone off. You ever watch the movie Escape from New York?
No.
Oh man, we gotta watch that. That's beautiful. Watch, it's a great movie.
No.
Throw some food once in a while. Let them kill each other. Okay, we got him.
No, but I mean, you make a good point. The few times I've been to DC since I was elected, I saw this swamp that you speak of, right? So you have presidents that come and go, right? And Trump wasn't amongst that swamp elite kind of group. So he's there, but everybody that works in the Treasury Department or works at the Ag Department, all these different agencies in DC, they're all the same people. They're all there from Clinton and Reagan, and these guys never leave. They're always there. So the swamp is a real thing. And if you don't think that doesn't exist here in Arizona, I mean, you're mistaken. The same thing happens here in this state. Same people just sticking around. And
I'm afraid about even just starting from this public school system in Arizona. Freak the hell out of me. I'm not speaking for you. I know that you have to work with the governor, but the governor freaked the hell out of me. Somebody who turned us in completely in 24 hours with the union. This red for red, ready out of from communist China stuff, an increase in taxes and salary, 20% they got overnight?
Yeah.
I mean, try to do that in the private sector, 20% overnight. They're going to get fired so many times.
I know.
Not even funny. Okay? Not important. You don't even get the service. All we get public re-education.
Yeah.
These people, the public school, even in Kingman, all you have to look who are in this steady, powerful position. They're all freaking, not even Democrats, real Marxists. The board or the Kingman school, there are people that are supposed to be in some, I don't know, Mao Zedong book. I'm not kidding.
Right.
And I know him personally, okay, without mentioning the names. So these people are the ones that educating our children. That way, are we surprised that in 18 years old, 19 years old kid in Mojave County start to make nonsense and just go for the nonsense. By the way, that's the common thing now around the country. So I'm very sad. We have enemies. We don't need to go to Washington to find these people. We have them here in Mojave County. We have them here in Kingman. We have them here in Phoenix. So that's why we got to stand up. What I like about this, we don't need to fly to yell at them in Washington. We can stay here, start from our county. And I always say peacefully, we still have this opportunity. But there is a point, I don't know how much peaceful can be. And I'm speaking for myself. Guns are now in jeopardy. That means not just the guns as an object, it's our right. And if they can tell me, and I'll tell you in public here, my name is Luca Zanna, I live at 3001 Stockton Hill Road. This is my place, by the way, it's my temple. I was the place always open, and I told the city I'm never going to shut down. And I also want to say now to the ATF people that I used to work with them when I had the gun manufacturer. They know already who I am. They know where I live. I'm never going to freaking register any of my freaking guns. So when the guns become illegal, put my poster up. Wanted. Okay. So.
No, I mean, but that comes right into my bill.
Your bill. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
And this is HB 2111, which passed the House party lines. It's going to be in the Senate probably Monday for a vote, and then goes to the governor. But this bill is very simple. All it says is, and the story behind it is even more interesting. So the bill just says if the feds try to change the laws, if they try to change and say the AR-15s are illegal, high-capacity magazines are illegal, this bill says that that's not going to apply here in Arizona. So our laws in Arizona come first, period. And if they try to come in, we're not going to spend money. We're not going to spend resources. We're not going to spend law enforcement. They're not going to be able to prosecute them in courts. So it's going to be a waste of time if they try to do anything like that. And it's because Biden made that point when he ran. So did Kamala Harris. They both said we're coming after your guns. Mm-hmm. And that's an infringement of our Second Amendment rights, period. And so this bill says you can go pound sand if you try to come here and do that here in the state of Arizona.
And it's a great start. Don't get me wrong. I applaud you for that because many other politicians would pee in their pants even just to think. No, seriously. No, seriously. Right. By the way, do you got any death threats yet? Any letter in the mail? Any? Sometimes they used to do in the movie. They put the horse head in your bed. Stuff like that. I mean, these people are worse than the mafia.
No,
the mafia, it's ethical. The mafia, you can shoot them out. After all, you can become the mafia.
That's
true. You
got
more guns, you shoot them up.
No, I mean, luckily,
it's very hard. You got to do a real revolution, 1776 style to shoot them out. Okay, now my point is one though. Don't get me wrong, it's a great start. I'm not complaining about anything. I wish every state would do that.
Yeah.
Now, would be nicer, and I'm trying to be picky here.
Sure.
Okay? Instead of just say we don't help you. No, we're gonna freaking arrest you, bastards.
I have great news.
Get me.
There's another bill that does exactly that. And it passed the Senate.
I need more drink.
I
need more wine here.
It says along the lines of if they try to come and arrest you or prosecute you, then we have the authority to sue you civilly or arrest that officer or whoever is trying to do that.
I need music. Music.
It's a great bill. It passed the Senate. It's going to come to the House. So this comes back to your point of individual states, right? 10th Amendment.
Yes.
Right? The states should determine what's legal and what. I mean, we create the federal government. People forget that. People think, the feds have they have the power. They supersede everything. No.
Oh, that's right.
It's a point in the 10th Amendment. They did that for a reason. They said it's up to the states to figure out. And so when I'm debating this in committee, here are the Dems, right? First complaint is you can't tell the feds what to do. This law is unconstitutional. This bill is unconstitutional. I said, really? So I look at this Representative Solomon. She goes, you can't do this. I said, okay. So how about marijuana? Mm-hmm. She goes, I said, no, because the states are legalizing that. It's still illegal federally.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Yeah. Well, marijuana never killed anybody.
Oh, really?
That was her comment.
That's not even the point. I mean,
but it doesn't matter, right? And so then I came back and I said this. I said, they said it is unconstitutional. I said, let me tell you something funny. I said, do you know where I got my language from? Jerry Brown, California.
Yeah.
So in 2017, Jerry Brown in California passed the sanctuary city law.
Yeah.
Saying that they're not going to help ICE. ICE can't come in there to detain illegals. And that got taken to the Supreme Court, got upheld.
Wow.
So I took that language, stripped
amazing.
it, put the Second Amendment on it, something that actually means something.
Yeah.
And I put that in. So our lawyers went through it. Our attorneys went through it. Everybody went through it. They're like, it's constitutional.
Yeah,
they can't touch. This is airtight.
That's a great.
This is airtight. And so
Great.
There's nothing like being able to push back.
That's why I'm so proud of you, Leo. Really serious. I remember you. What was like 4 years ago when you come to my CCW class?
Yeah.
No, it was gun safety and CCW if you did. I don't know. I did something. You were there, and I said, "I bless you, my friend. Young man, and if you want to make it, I'm really happy." No, even if I didn't know what you were doing, you were young. You wanted to put your head in the fight.
Right.
We need young fighters.
I
We
agree.
need young blood, for God's
agree.
sake. Because the problem is, don't get me wrong, I love the people that I truly believe many people, when they're seniors, they care of their grandchildren and they want to do the right thing. They want to get, commit themselves and do the right thing. But sometimes we always have, don't get me wrong, there are some old people out there. I wish people from the World War II generation, they would start shooting out in the streets right now, okay?
Right.
Forget about me. This is not the type of generation. The testosterone level was 200% more than what we have now, okay? They wouldn't put up with that stuff. But the point is another one. We need young blood for many reasons. First of all, as you said, we need to regenerate a little bit of more purity into the system. Otherwise, always the same people, they're going to eventually corrupt themselves.
Get corrupted, absolutely right.
Also, I think, seriously, when you have a young attitude, everything changes a little bit. When you're a little more older, you try a little more, I want to be wiser. I want to be a little more politically correct. I want to be a little more diplomatic. Guys, the enemy is inside the walls. They already storming the freaking walls. It's no more time to be diplomatic. We got to freaking get out the swords and start to fight back.
Yeah,
okay?
well, in that point, you make a good point, because think about my bill, right?
Yeah.
No other representative did that.
Yeah.
Right? and I'll touch into this next. My human trafficking bill.
I know.
Right.
Go ahead, please tell us that.
Nobody wants to touch that. They're too nervous. And so this, you want to go and talk about that one now? Go into the
ahead,
human.
go
Okay.
ahead, go ahead, man. It's your floor.
This one is a hot topic. It hit national news. But when Epstein happened 2 years ago,
Mhm.
right? We kind of got the spotlight on what he did, and we found out in 2005 he was actually arrested back then, and he only served 2 years in jail with work release. So he was really only spending the night in jail. The rest of the time he's out, he's partying, he's doing whatever he wanted for human trafficking, for sex trafficking. And when I saw that, I looked at the laws in Arizona, and I realized we have the same punishment here. If you get charged for sex trafficking, child trafficking, you're going to jail maybe 10 years, early release, work release. So here I'm thinking, wait a minute. You have somebody who's ruined a child's life, a child who's been sexually trafficked, or even any human, adult, child, whatever. How are they not in prison for life?
Yeah.
They've ruined a child for the rest of their life. So my law says life in prison. If you're molestation, life in prison. Like, there's no more early release. There's no more work release. There's none of this BS. These people, I'm all about criminal justice reform. If you're smoking marijuana, why are you in prison for 30 years? It's stupid, in my opinion. If you're trafficking a child for sex, if you're producing child pornography, why are you out walking these streets after 5 years?
At least I have. Sometimes people, we need to visualize the crime, because sometimes we think it's just some sort of a wording. We need to see what we found out, by the way, the last few years, especially with the Trump administration, because he put a lot of effort in trying to, at federal level, expose and fight this child trafficking. By the way, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard that Mr. Biden, the usurper, that's the way I call him, he removed this task force at federal level.
I
shut
believe
it down.
it.
No, it is a factual. So now, I'm telling you something else. In my opinion, is also a kind of borderline pedophile, because for what I see on video, watch on video, if it was my child, you touch him like that, I break your legs. No, seriously, there is no way you're gonna get close to my child and you start to touch him. That would be a felony right there. Seriously, if we go on the street and touch anybody like that, that would be a felony in Arizona.
That's right.
Okay. So my point is, I start to see now evidence that maybe we didn't have enough to put them on trial, unfortunately.
Right.
But was also the Pizzagate. You remember that was exposed?
Yeah.
There's a huge network. Children disappearance by the hundreds of thousands around the world. We don't know where they're going. Or we know that they don't just disappear in the air, they go to Mars, okay? These children, they go somewhere.
Yep.
Now, we know that there were some places, and this is evidence, it's fact, it's not a conspiracy. The Epstein Island is just one place that we heard.
That's right.
We know that was shut down. We know that was pretty much raided by the FBI, and all the servers, they were removed. We know that that's one of the ways to control people is through blackmailing.
Absolutely right.
We have photos going around the internet. Of course, I like always to say everybody's innocent until proven guilty.
Sure.
We need to have trial. We don't want the mob trial. But just with the evidence we would have, we should have people facing right now trial. Many of them, they're politicians, hanging around with kissing little children or hanging around with the children. And that's the only thing we're allowed to see. We know that there were somehow the laptop of other politicians, like, for example, the New York congressman. Wiener.
That's right.
What happened to that?
Yeah.
Appropriate name.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things out there. They just because it's not in the media anymore doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right.
So now I also tell you what we have here and now is beyond some political corruption in everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it started. If people just research, passed away, and hopefully he's answering now. But Lawrence King, you know that name?
I heard that name. Remind me.
Also
please.
known as Larry King.
Larry King.
Look him up. In the 70s, he was involved in the Nebraska Boys Town.
Wow.
Which was so people don't realize 70% of these kids that are being trafficked come from foster.
Yeah.
They're from foster homes or foster families, right?
Yes.
100,000 a year in the U.S. alone are trafficked. Lawrence King was involved in a huge issue where they were taking kids from the Boys Town.
Yeah.
They charged him for something else, money laundering or whatever. He got off of the other stuff, but they were stealing kids, shipping them to D.C. with politicians. I mean, there's a huge. You type this into the YouTube.
Yeah.
There's video of kids with the FBI talking to them, saying, "Oh yeah, I was on a plane. I went to D.C. I was with politicians, 14, 12, 13-year-olds having sex with." I mean, it runs so deep.
Yeah.
And the only way to stop it, as you say, life in prison.
Yeah, no,
period.
I agree.
No parole, no early release.
Once you are convicted, we have all the evidence. People want to understand what if it was your child right there.
Absolutely right.
By the way, the problem that death is not even the worst thing. is to live the rest of your life with a scar.
They're never the same.
Exactly.
That's
It's
right.
going to be something that is beyond the crime. I mean, you having a person being. I don't want to go there. I don't want to.
No, it's.
I don't want to go there.
But I'll say, the only pushback I had from this was it passed 51-1 in the House.
Oh, wow.
It's in the Senate, just passed Judiciary Committee Thursday. It'll be on the floor probably this week.
Yeah.
One Democrat voted no. She's like, I don't believe in mandatory sentencing.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have that. So I'm a no vote. And I said, these are the people you want mandatory sentencing, if there's anybody. But the other people, some people said, look, they should have the death penalty. They should kill them. And I said, no. I thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, I want these people in prison for life to live what they've done to that child. I want them to remember that every day. And then I hope somebody else in prison does to them the pain that they gave on to another child. So I want them in there for life. And it's actually more expensive to kill somebody than to keep them in life, because when somebody's on death row, they're challenging their court. They're challenging the sentencing. They're challenging the conviction. So it's a process of just new trials and new trials and new trials. By the time it's done, you're talking millions.
Listen, I completely with you, agree 100%. My only concern is this. Sometimes we know that, unfortunately, the judicial system is not exactly what we call pure anymore.
Sure.
If you have not enough resources, sometimes you may be found yourself in the mercy of pleading. Of course, nobody would plead on something like that, okay?
Right.
Or that's not like you just rob a car or maybe I got drunk. That's true. But also, I know something. I remember 7 years ago, I have a video. I had to call the department of the under Obama administration. I was doing my radio show. I had a software that I just bought would tell me when somebody's trying to break into my computer. And out of the blue, beep, 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 red alert. This IP number is trying to break into your computer. Oh, shut everything down. Let me see what's going on. I was freaking out. I said, wow, am I so important? I'm just a little guy with an accent from Mojave County. What do you really care about me? I get the IP address, and through a reverse search, very simple, easy to find. You don't need to be an IP genius. It was from the Department of Defense from San Antonio, Texas.
Wow.
I got it on video. There is a YouTube. Then I call him.
Hello.
He said, yeah, it's me. I said, what do you want from us? Well, I don't know if it's you, but it looks like you. This IP address trying to break into my computer. By the way, beside, some windsurfing photos, me with the guns and other stuff. Maybe I got some Playmates photos, stuff like that. Regular guy. I'm a guy, okay? But I would like to ask you why you tried to breach into my computer. Oh, no, that's not us. Well, I show you the video. Boom, I put on YouTube. IP address this. Is this your IP address? That's it is. Well, somebody in your office is playing games then.
Unbelievable.
I got still the YouTube out there. Now, that's my point.
I hear you.
Let's say I don't like Leo Biasucci.
No.
I'm one of these swamp people that say, you know what? We got to get Leo back. We got to show him a lesson. You think he's so pure, Mr. Patriot, Mel Gibson. We're going to get him good. Now, we're going to, they can freaking hijack an election. I'm sure they can hijack your computer.
You can do a lot of things.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to dump a couple nasty little photos of Mr. Leo. More important, not Leo, just a couple little girls, maybe 12, 13, 10, whatever. Right there, we have a serious problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And they can do that to any one of us. So that's my only concern. I completely with you. These people, when they found guilty, they should be paying the rest of the eternity, not life. Because I believe there is an afterlife. They're going to pay after that too.
Right.
But meanwhile, let's take care of this. We're here for this.
Right.
So I'm with you. My only still concern is this. They have the technology.
Was it a valid concern?
You need to have the resources to defend yourself. I hope you have enough a smart jury. They're going to say, okay, something stinks here.
Right.
That's my only concern. Because the problem now, especially, look who is the judges are.
Right.
You see that? That's my only thing. And I'm just trying to throw things at you.
No, it's a valid point, though.
Because
it's a valid concern. You would hope that you don't have to worry about that, but the reality is,
I can, a little kid can break into a computer.
Right.
You don't even know it. They drop a couple nasty little photos of a 6-year-old boy and all the terrible things they do to them. You wake up in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, with a gun pointed at your face, FBI, you're under arrest. Now sell your home, make another mortgage or whatever, because you got to defend yourself for serious crime charges in the state and federal.
And that's something that needs to change too. I firmly believe. I think we need to have better laws to protect citizens against that kind of situation, right? Where you're fighting back. You're innocent. You know you're innocent, right? But by the time you're out of the courts, you've lost everything. You
Yeah.
lost your home. There should be something in the law that says if you are found every dime is paid back to you. I don't
agree.
care who it is.
I agree.
I don't care if it's the government. I don't care if it's somebody personal. It's in my opinion that needs to happen. Something I can definitely look into.
I have somebody else who would like to talk. Dave, if you don't mind, I want to give a chance to somebody else, please. Go ahead, please. Come here. Come closer, please. I give you the microphone. Go ahead.
First of all, thanks a lot for what you're doing, HR
Absolutely.
2111 and 2889.
Yeah,
I believe.
2889. Yep.
Of course. I held it for you.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure and ask you what your opinion was during this audit, which is really, really super important. The whole
Right.
world's watching this. The wheels of justice have started turning around
Sure.
the whole country, not just here. There's an awful lot going on. Have you been meeting resistance along the way? Has there been people who have been trying to stop it, have trying to turn it a different direction or lessen it?
Yeah, I
And,
mean,
what can we do to help that process? Because it's really hard to find any information about where we are in this thing.
100%. So my suggestion right now would be, and thank you for the question. My suggestion right now, and I tell this people is let the Senate figure out what to do. So what, like I said before, what happened was it became so publicized that it started to jeopardize who they wanted to pick. Because, for example, they had this guy Jovan, right? I'm sure you've all heard about Jovan, right? Well, the problem was we started getting emails, just thousands every day saying you have to go Jovan. If you don't go Jovan, we're gonna, make sure you're primaried. And we're not. Well, when that happens, though, is now it's become public, right? So now if we go with Jovan, the other side is going to say, oh, you've got an insider working for you. You can't do that. So what I'm telling people is the good news is you have good people in the Senate, right? President Fan, Senator Borelli, Senator Peterson, they really took this on and said, we're going to do this right. And all I'm just saying is we got to trust those guys because they're actually, they've been threatened and they've been, you saw what happened with Borelli recently. He with his, I don't know if you heard the recording, but they found the shredded ballots in the dumpster. And he got on the phone call with a lady that has them. Mm-hmm. And he was saying, look, give me the papers. I'll take them. We have the sergeant of arms because he's on the right side of this thing, right? He's a good guy. And she didn't trust him for whatever reason. I don't trust you. I don't trust that. And she releases the recording to the media and makes Sonny look like a bad guy. But this is the kind of stuff where it's just like, you're just complicating. Yeah. This is a simple thing. Just
show the evidence. Show us the evidence.
Show us the evidence. Right, it's simple. You would think. So my suggestion is don't stop demanding answers from the public. I tell the public, send emails to the governor, send emails to the Speaker of the House, the president. Say, look, all you got to say is simple. We just want to know the truth, good or bad. Like we look and there's nothing, fine. But to ignore and to obstruct is you have 4 Republican supervisors, right, that are the games they played were ridiculous. The games they played were I would see that from a Democrat maybe,
yeah.
But for Republicans, and then the conspiracies start coming out, right? When you have this pushback, then you're saying, okay, what the heck is going on? This doesn't make sense. So I ask you, don't stop fighting. But I'm just saying, try to just have the trust and belief in the system because this system, the Senate that are involved, they're good people, and I'm being honest with that one. If it wasn't, I'd tell you.
We almost at the end. I want to say something. First of all, thank you, Leo, for coming here. Yeah. And this is really important. By the way, I didn't want to go back on the air. I really don't have desire. I'm not a wannabe talk radio guy. On top, I suck. Seriously. I think people can understand what I'm saying. The only reason why I'm here, because I would like every one of us to do whatever you can.
Yeah.
If you can get the radio, go get the radio. If you want to get flyers, put flyers. If you want to go speak to your city council, I don't care if you speak at your dinner table, do something. Because this is the last time we have to really try to stop this. Well, next time we're going to talk, we may be talking maybe in the forest or the mountains or maybe under the bridges. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be, we are really at this point, okay? So we still have the chance to stop this peacefully, civilly, with the system, like you were saying. We have good people, especially in Phoenix. They're really risking everything. I truly believe, I wouldn't be surprised, as I said, somebody's going to, maybe in the front page, we're going to find strange stuff in your computer pretty soon or other things like that, okay? Don't go, please, in a hotel by yourself. Okay, don't go to party, things like that.
I'm heavily armed.
No,
which is good.
It's like that. They're gonna put you a couple of hookers around. That's it. I'm not worried about. I don't think they're gonna get you crazy stuff. Anyway, we pray for you at the religion here at the Religious Temple of Freedom, the Social Contact Club, Luca, Zanna, and Leo Biasucci tonight, and all the brothers and sisters in freedom. We tell you, please, don't give up. Stay strong. and more important, screw the tyrants. Okay. All right, guys. Talk to you next Sunday. Okay, on the K
Ciao.
Talks. Otherwise, I'll talk to you on YouTube next Friday here on socialcontactclub.com. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you, Luca. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You did a good job.
I appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Well, I tell you
That
what,
was great.
you got